Hello, folks, and welcome to Kudlow. I'm Larry Kudlow. So, former President Donald Trump struck a unity theme last night in Laura Ingraham's Fox Town Hall, saying, "My revenge will be success." Mr. Trump talked about migrant crime, drill baby drill, and described himself as a man of common sense. We're going to have an all-star panel of Mark Simone, Charlie Hurt, and Joe Concha. Mr. Trump also cited the Eighth Amendment, that excessive bail shall not be required. We have Victor Davis Hanson to weigh in on that one. And Senator Tommy Tuberville will be here to clean up the migrant crime. And in the stock market, we're going to get an earnings report on chipmaker NVIDIA. It could determine the entire market outlook. All right. My riff, former President Donald Trump gave a commanding performance last night on Laura Ingraham's Fox Town Hall. A headline takeaway, well, I thought his unifying message about getting this country back on track for everyone. Take a listen, please.
I don't care about the revenge thing. I know they usually use the word revenge. Will there be revenge? My revenge will be success.
And just to underscore that unity message, Mr. Trump described himself as a man of common sense. Take a listen to this one.
I'm a man of common sense. You know, they say you're conservative, you're liberal, you're this, you're that. No, we're people of common sense. We need borders. We don't want to give foreign aid to countries that hate us.
And speaking of the common sense theme, President Trump outlined his two top day one priorities. Take a listen.
Two things I'm going to do. Number one is drill, baby, drill. And the other thing, equal, is we're going to... Look, I had the safest border in the history of our country.
So those are unifiers. Okay, so think about this. Drill, baby, drill has become at least an 80% favorable issue. Closing the border and stopping what President Trump calls migrant crime is probably a 99% issue. That's what passes for common sense. The country will unite around those two principles. Drill, baby, drill, well, that would mean lower energy prices and an end to inflation. It's a huge economic growth booster rocket. It would also mean an end to the big government socialist Green New Deal. Hundreds of mandates have been jammed down the throats of typical working folks who instead want to exercise their free consumer choice over things like gasoline-powered cars, microwaves, showers, toilet bowls. They do not want a bunch of Washington bureaucrats to tell them how to live. That is another unifying message. And of course, closing the border is now embraced by virtually the whole country, including a bunch of blue state Democrats. And you know what? Barriers work. Texas Governor Greg Abbott has shown with his razor wire campaign that has greatly curtailed illegal crossings, so much so that the battle has now shifted from Texas to San Diego. Common sense people can see this with their own eyes every night on the news. And by the way, a wall would serve the same purpose, wouldn't it? Ironically, illegals from all over the world, including people from China, from Syria, from Africa, still have Remain in Mexico cards. But they toss them away when they cross the border because they don't want the authorities to see the cards and then maybe deport them back to Mexico. Building a wall, remain in Mexico, catch and deport, well, all that is common sense. Drill, baby, drill, slashing grocery and oil prices, robbing Russia's Putin of wartime oil revenues, also common sense. These are unifying themes around the vital topics of promoting faster economic growth, higher real wages, and a restoration of safety and lawfulness throughout the country. Unifiers, common sense. When they're implemented, they will put America back on the path to success. Mr. Trump last night talked about a number of other issues, including fair trade, a return to international respect for America, solving all these blow-ups around the world, the Middle East, Ukraine, Afghanistan, all things that formed his record during his first term. And finally, when asked, why does he stay in politics, in the political game, throughout all the Democratic lawfare weaponizations, constant slings and arrows, Mr. Trump calmly replied, and I will quote, "I want to make America great again. It's not great right now, and we can do that." End quote. And that's my riff.